welcome. Come and get onto your mat with either a massage ball or a rolled blanket. If you've got the massage ball, we're going to work this area that I work a lot, and I just don't get sick of it. I do this almost every day. If you've got the massage ball, you're going to pin the ball under one of your shoulder blades and start with that, either lying on your back or pressed up against a wall. If you have a rolled blanket or a block could work as well, you're simply just going to come and lie on your back with that under both shoulders. And you'll stay still for the whole time, whereas the ball people might be moving around a bit. And if you're not working with the ball today, I recommend you cactus your arms sort of above the roll. So the roll is kind of right below my elbows. And my arms are cactus, and this gives me this great expansive feeling in my chest. Great. And I'm going to keep my eye on the time. We're going to spend about another minute on this side of the shoulder. Or those of you that are on your back, you'll have about 3 minutes total just to breathe and feel. Now, whatever you're doing with your legs, just check in with that and make sure it's comfortable. And then really deepen your breath. Whatever version of the exercise you happen to be in, doesn't matter. All of us have our attention now around the space of the heart. Now, those of you who are on the ball and you're doing one side, this is the end of your side. So maybe you want to breathe out of the mouth or do something else to signify, okay, that's the end of this little section of class. Let it go. Switch sides with the ball, if that's your work. And then go in. Big breaths. Now, if you can keep arriving into this body, this breath, this feeling, in essence, you're in your meditation, right? Everything we do in Nowhere Village is meditation. Some of it we do in stillness, some of it we do in movement. But we're cultivating this ability to call our attention back to what matters, to what we actually care about. Okay, last couple of breaths on this side. Use the exhale to really clean yourself out. And then you'll move the blanket, the ball, whatever you got going on, off to the side. And I want you to come onto your back, but I want you to really feel how much of your upper back you can kind of get onto the mat now. And then take your hands to the base of your skull, hands behind the base of the skull here. Now this, optionally, you could have a block between your thighs. Not important, but it would just engage the inner thighs and the belly a little bit more. Keep your feet on the ground. Take an inhale into the back of your heart where you just rolled out or stretched. And then exhale, do a little crunch. So you curl up and you pull your elbows in and you tuck your chin. So you stretch the back of your neck and the back of your heart. Inhale, lay back, wide elbows. Big inhale. And then exhale, curl up. Do that just like that. Super simple and slow. Inhale, laying back and still up, fill up, fill up. And then exhale. Contract and pull the elbows in and tuck the chin. And as you do these slow, generous breaths for yourself, keep the awareness in the feelings in the body. Now, you could keep going just like that, or now you could introduce a twist. So next time you come up, start to come up, but then veer over to the left. And let your right elbow cross towards your left leg. And then come back down, wide elbows, that's just the same. The exhale, we come up, and then we do a little twist. Left elbow towards the right knee. And then lay back down, elbows wide. Right elbow toward the left knee, twisting. Keep the chin tucking. Inhale, lay back, and then we can open the front of the throat a little bit. And then other side, and again, we really tuck the chin on our way up. We don't have to come up very high. I should have said that before. That doesn't matter. Do one more set. So inhale, lay back, elbows wide. Exhale, curl up, twist. Inhale, come back, elbows wide. Exhale, curl up and twist. Inhale, come on back. And then hug your knees into your chest. Find yourself all the way up to a seated position. And come into a comfortable seated position. And we're just going to do a little bit of opening today of the front of the chest now. And so you could do tapping like we do in Qigong. You can hear me making my body into a drum, my chest into a drum. You could do massage. You could also, if you have the ball, even just kind of roll the ball into these spaces. And sometimes that actually feels really good, doing little twists with the ball. You could be doing this underneath the fabric of your clothes or on top of. And just notice. I've been moving a lot of things and also stress. I contain a lot of stress right here. So I'm noticing I'm kind of like lumpy in my chest right now. Things feel really tight. And that's okay. Don't let there be fear about whatever we find in the body at any point in yoga. Instead, be curious and then just invite in space, invite in light, invite in health, invite in your values into this space. If the energy is stagnant there, right, our what we value, what we care about, can't enter. Our real sources can't really flow. Right? So all we're doing is moving this energy around. And then nature does the rest. Notice the different sounds. Make sure you get kind of that area over into the armpit and around the side of the ribs here. Tight spaces for me. Okay. And then you're just going to take the left hand off to the left and take your right arm alongside your ear now and get this nice big stretch. Let the right hip come down in opposition as you reach. And then switch sides, nice and simple. And whatever we discover, right? No shame, no guilt. We're attending to it now. Isn't that great? Okay, you're gonna come onto your hands and your knees and either spend a few breaths in cat and cow if that feels nice this morning, or you could go right into downward dog if you feel called. We will meet in downward dog now, lifting the hips up high. Feel your hands and your feet on the ground and really connect to the ground. So really engage through the hands and the feet. And then engage through your belly and lift your hips up away from your feet and your hands. Breathe really deep breaths. And start to take a little walk forward, a little journey forward to the front of your yoga mat. You'll end up in a standing forward fold there. And for what we're going to do next, I'd love for you to have a rolled blanket. Or actually, if you don't have a blanket, no biggie, you could roll up your yoga mat. But what you need is a little roll. So once you have your little roll, you're going to step the balls of the feet onto the roll. while keeping your heels back off of the wall. Like that. Now, we're going to end up coming into a forward fold. So this sensation is actually just going to get deeper. So if you find that it's too intense, you probably need to unroll your roll a little bit. So it's a smaller step. You're creating a little step, like a soft little step for your foot. So you should start to feel some stretch, likely in your feet, calves. Yeah. And then go ahead and allow yourself to come forward into a forward fold. Now, a block or 2 blocks under your hands could be really great here. And soft knees could be really, really, really helpful. Okay. We're going to spend 10 breaths here, really slow, deep breaths. So that's a lot, right? Again, so maybe that makes you want to soften the knees or grab your block. And then let this be, here's your meditation, right? Being in this space, being in this shape, in a version of this shape that's safe. And then feeling your breath as now we're opening up the pathways in the lower body. Really let the head drop out of the neck spine, even if you're not very far forward, right? I'm pretty folded, but even if you're kind of up here, right? You can even almost accentuate the tucking of the chin, some of us, or the rounding of the upper back, and you might find more release in that space. Experiment with that. We're about halfway through. Really feel this breath. Feel it all the way, and then you're going to feel the next breath. Last 1 or 2 breath cycles for you. Make it full, rich, present. And then we're actually going to come into a squat. And we're going to do this by walking forward. So now the heels come onto the fold of the rolled blanket, and I come to sit. You might want to adjust this. You might like to squat without a blanket. I'm going to face you. We'll do Kapalabhati breath now. So this is a vigorous, rapid breath that's mostly exhalation. So this should help us clean out whatever energy we've kind of stirred up for this practice so far. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. Inhale to a comfortable level. And then short, sharp exhales where you're really pumping from the belly and from your pelvic floor. Find your rhythm. I'm not going to actually do my rhythm much more because I want you to hear your own. Right, but it's that big exhale. You might need a tissue. Stuff might start flying out of the nose. It's all coming out of the nose. And the inhale's in the nose as well, but it's just this kind of intense inhale and then a big exhale out. Intense short inhale. Now, as you do this, can you close your eyes, gaze at your third eye? And even though it's a very strong kind of yang practice, can you find the yin in the room? Can you find something that's soft and easeful? Now slow it down a little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, last one, all the way out, 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 out. Put your hands on the ground, see the ground underneath you, and then take a big breath in like you're taking in resources from her, and then exhale out of your mouth as if you're just composting and returning those resources, just like the breath cycle, giving, receiving all day long. Now from here, we are going to come on up. You can move the blanket off to the side of your mat. You should be facing forward on your mat, hanging over the legs, and then soften your knees, soften all your joints, actually, every joint that you can think of, soften it, and then round your way all the way up. The belly is not soft, right? It's contracted, pulled in. Everything else gets to stay pretty soft, and then once you come up, let the head sit right on top of the spine. You can bring your big toes to touch, hands to prayer in front of your heart. Close your eyes. Breathe. Come into the care that lives always inside of your heart, inside of the hearts of all beings. Some people interpret this care in different ways. You can interpret it in all sorts of ways, right? But come back to the feeling itself right now. It's a power. Dedicate this practice in accordance with what you find in your heart. And then open the eyes, hook your thumbs, reach forward and up. We're doing a little moon salute variation here. Bend your knees, put your belly on your thighs, then interlace your fingers behind your back and straighten your legs. Inhale, lift your chest, sit your hips back. There's skier's pose. Then step your left foot way back and lower the left knee. You can, of course, put your hands on the ground for that transition if you need. Either keep the hands down or hook thumbs and reach up as you breathe in. Hands come down. And we've got another shape here. Well, actually, let's step back to plank pose. I haven't done a vinyasa. So as you exhale, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin, depending on what you're ready for. And as you inhale, lift your chest, come to the tops of the feet. Exhale, downward dog. Let's stay in downward dog, 3 breath cycles. Breathing for 1. Deeply breathing. For 2. Feel the energy flowing. Feel the energy moving through the body. And then look forward and step or hop your feet forward between your hands. Lengthen the spine as you arrive and straighten your legs. Then fold down into your legs and breathe out. From here, you're going to bend your knees again. Hook your thumbs in front. So pressing rewind on that. We come all the way up with the legs straight and the arms straight. Chest open. And then we'll come right back in. Bend the knees, put the belly on the thighs. Then interlace the fingers behind your back. Drop your head. Inhale, skier's pose. Sit your hips back. Look a little forward on the earth. Then step your right foot back and lower your right knee. Hook thumbs, reach up if that feels appropriate for you. Belly engaged, all in accordance with your care and your intention. Hands come down. Pick up your right knee. Step the left foot back. Inhale. And do your version of a vinyasa. Totally up to you. Elbows hug in as you lower. And then heart opens up out of the hips as you breathe in. Downward dog. Stay. 3 breath cycles. 1. Big breath. 2. Inhale. Look forward, step or hop the feet forward as you breathe out. Big breath in, open your heart. And big breath out as you fold into your legs. Bend your knees, hook thumbs, reach forward and up. Big inhale. Let's go right back in. Bend the knees, belly on the thighs. Interlace your fingers behind your back and drop your head. Skier's pose, sit the hips back, open the heart forward. Step your left foot back just like we did. Lower the knee, hook thumbs in front and reach up. Breathe in. And then hands down. Now we're going to add in standing split. So tip the weight into your right foot. Pick up your left leg and your chest. Maybe grab your block or 2 blocks, one under each hand if you want. Then fold down into the right leg. 5 breath cycles here. And I know this can be an uncomfortable pose. See if you can engage your belly a little bit more and see if you can lift your right hip point. That's the standing leg. That might be something you have to play with a little bit, that sense. And it doesn't matter actually it doesn't matter too much how high the top leg is, as long as there's a lot of integrity in that standing leg and you continue to kind of lift up through the hip of that standing leg and hollow your belly, and as long as the upper body is super soft. Last 2 breaths. You really want the head to just be dangling out of the upper back. All that work we did in the shoulders makes this more possible. Now you're gonna watch, open your eyes, and you're oriented towards your back foot, top foot. Let it land, watch as it lands for warrior 1. Place it really nicely. Really engage through the feet today. And then kind of scoop the energy up from the earth. Warrior 1. Here, I'm gonna recommend interlacing the fingers behind the base of your skull. Widening your elbows a bit. And kind of lifting, I'm almost using my hands like a little vice to kind of lift that heavy head off of the spine, so the spine gets less compressed. 2 more breath cycles. Beautiful. Let's add this in. I want you to straighten the front leg and set up for triangle pose. Yeah, so orient the feet, right toes pointing forward, left foot at an angle, and then come on forward. And you can take any version of this you like, hand to the shin or onto a block, what have you. Breathe for 1. Breathe deeply, 2. 3. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Beautiful. You're just going to make your way back to the ground as simply and organically as you can. Again, you could go through a vinyasa if that feels right. We'll meet in downward dog. And then we'll prepare and meet again at the front of the mat. Bend your knees, hook your thumbs in front, really kind of squeeze the inner legs together, then reach forward and up. Big breath in. And let's come forward and down one more time. Interlace the fingers behind your back as you straighten the legs. So there's that standing forward fold with the arm variation. Then skier's pose, lift your chest, reach that arm variation back as you look forward. And then step your right foot back and lower your right knee. Hook thumbs, inhale, reach up. And then hands down. Pick up the back knee and then shift the weight forward for standing split, lifting the chest and the right leg, and then folding down into the left leg. And listening to the breath and feeling the pose. 1. Think about that standing leg. It's like you're rooting your heel down while you're lifting the hip up. So the left leg is reaching up and down at once. The top leg doesn't matter too much, but if you lift it a little bit higher, you might be able to pour the upper body forward more. Upper body is just soft dangling. 3. 4. And exhale. 5. Watch as that right foot lands back. Warrior 1. Take your time setting up the foundation. And then I like to take my arms forward and up, scooping that energy up from the earth, up to the sky. And then you can interlace the fingers behind the base of the skull. Do what you need to do here with the upper body, but make sure that it's not compressing in the low back. Breathe. 2. 3. Elbows wide, heart open. Feel your breath. 4, 5. Straighten the front leg, and again, adjust the feet for triangle. So for me, that's a narrower stance. And then reach forward through the left arm and connect the left hand to shin. Right fingers to the sky. Breathe here for 1. Breathe. 2. 3. Breathe. 4. Inhale. Exhale. 5. Very simply make your way back to a downward dog, taking one last vinyasa on your way if you'd like. And then meet me in a seated position, getting there however you want. Seated position, we're going to take a ankle to knee pose. Oh, sorry, Aunt. Ankle to knee pose, left shin on top first. So I'm in full ankle to knee pose here, right? One shin stacked on top of the other. You might instead want to do half with one leg, the bottom leg extended, or reclined. So you come, take this whole shape onto your back with the one arm, left arm through, and the right arm, the back of the right thigh. So if you're reclined, the action of the stretch comes from kind of hugging the right thigh in. If you're seated, it comes from allowing the hips and the knees and the feet to kind of push down while you lift the chest up and possibly fold forward. I want us to just be here, slowing down the breath, experiencing the sensation, meeting everything inside with care. Last couple of breaths, option to let them go out of the mouth. This giving and receiving, giving and receiving. It's happening all the time. Now I want you to switch sides as simply as you can. So if you're on your back, stay on your back. If you're seated, opposite shin on top. Take your time getting situated. And I should have said before, but you can always put, there's a lot of space between the shins, but you want to stay in this shape. You can always put padding in between. So do whatever you need to do, and then go on in. Go on into the shape and breathe deeply. Notice if you're resisting somewhere in the body. Can you soften it? Notice if you've been kind of attached to something for this whole class. a story, an idea, even a hope, even one that's, seems positive, right? Just let that go. Last exhale out of the mouth here. And then you're going to make your way onto your back, slowly, easily, for either bridge pose or wheel pose. Feet on the ground, right under your knees. Engage the legs nice and strong. Lift up your hips. And this is bridge. So this might be just where you are, and you could play with where the height of the hips is. You could play with maybe more expansiveness through your chest. Or you could take your hands alongside your ears and now transform this into a full wheel pose. Lifting up onto the hands and the feet, with the belly reaching toward the sky. Breathe for 2, 3. Feel where the energy moves in this pose, where the breath moves. It's interesting. 4. And 5, come down from whichever version you've been in. Hug your knees into your chest. And then simply lower your knees over to the left side so that you're in a little supine twist. Let your arms come wide. Let your head turn away from your legs. Breathe 5 breaths here. 1. 2. 'Feel how the breath moves. And let yourself belong to this very simple giving and receiving. And then you'll switch sides, nice and simple and sweet and easy. Knees to the right, head to the left, and you may need to kind of adjust your hips and bring them more to the center of your mat if things got a little askew. Breathe 2. These are our closing minutes, practicing together. Savor them. And then find one more pose that you would love to do, maybe 2, but we just have basically 3 more minutes total, including Shavasana. And of course, you're always welcome to continue to practice. Hopefully I've inspired you, and if that means that you're off and running, fabulous. Those of us that are staying within the confines of the class, yeah, just choose, something to do for a few more breaths. I'm just going to bring my legs up in the air, staying very simple. Some days I'd rather come up and do headstand or something more active. And when you do feel ready to come into a final resting pose, make your way there. And given the length of this class and the length of the Shavasana, quote unquote, you may want to choose a restorative pose. And if you want a suggestion, something that we did on Monday that felt pretty awesome is actually Bakasana. So if you think you could hold this for 2 minutes comfortably, it's just a pose where you might have to adjust or get onto a blanket or something to be comfortable, but where the knees and the inner feet are touching the ground wide so that it's a big inner thigh stretch. Okay, find a pose that you're gonna hold. Get very comfortable there and breathe deeply. Surrender to the giving and receiving. Surrender to the process of being. If you're going to practice on. If you're going to close with me, I want it to sit nice and slow. You take a moment of sincerity and gratitude. Take a moment of sacred pause to thank yourself and to thank the love and wisdom inside of you and inside of all beings. Humble Roshi Satguru Mata Devi.